I relate what I'm doing and, things I see happening, research I've done, and, things I like to share. So that's basically what take away from this. And today's topics obviously will be Bitcoin. I don't know if you could tell from the attire. Then I'll sum it up with, a bit of a synopsis in that. Currently, and it's Saturday afternoon, later in the day here, Bitcoin's trading around 47. And it's had a really good week, guys. It's up over 10% in the last 5 days. I wasn't here last week. I had a cold. I'm basically over it now, but you can tell I got a bit of raspiness still. And so 2 weeks ago was my last video. And at that time, I think it was trading around 41,000 and change. So, as I said on that day, I think it's a good buying opportunity. And I still think that today. So the massive FOMO hasn't kicked in, but we're seeing tremendous uptake on those ETFs that I've spoke about in the past videos. So here's the story. If you haven't bought any Bitcoin yet, it's not too late. I would say it's a good time to get in. Bitcoin's still on sale. Yet if you have bought some Bitcoin, well done. My hat's off to you. Buy some more. But above all, do your research. When you do your research, and even after you bought it, guys, continue to do your research, because the more familiar you get with the product and what you now own, the easier you sleep at night, the safer you feel, and it's good to do that. So what was the ETFs this week? Their uptake on Friday was 11,388 net Bitcoin inflows. Tremendous. Considering there's only 900 a day that are made, and in one day they took in 11,388. The outflows from Grayscale have slowed dramatically. They were 1,089 coins on Friday, yesterday. So that's dropped off dramatically. So, you got the intake of the ETFs at over 1089 from, Grayscale. You're still left with a sizable intake way over and above the daily mining of 900 per day. And again, coming up to halving in 69 days, that gets cut in half to 450. Dollar-wise, 541 million went in yesterday. Well, what is that? That's the fourth day in a row of an uptrend of intake, dollar increase into the ETFs. 4 days ago, 33 million. 3 days ago, 146. 2 days ago, 405. And yesterday, 541. What's that tell me? That tells me, guys, that it's here. And it's I think next week, we could be shocked at the jumps again in the intake as well as the dollars, and I think too in the price action of Bitcoin. But again, I don't think it's too late to look at Bitcoin, get into Bitcoin, increase your holdings if you're already in. If you're not already in, definitely take a look at it. As you know, I'm liking Proxies for Bitcoin. Part of the reason is I think they're levered somewhat, and I like that idea. And I can generate income from selling calls, as some of you know. So what did the Proxies do? Well, they obviously followed the price action of Bitcoin, but in some respects, they way outpaced it. MSTR, MicroStrategy, Thursday, Friday was up 16 and then another 10%, 16% Thursday, 10% Friday. So tremendous uptake in MicroStrategy, which is kind of a Bitcoin proxy on Bitcoin itself. As well as I like the miners, and personally with Riot, Mara, and CleanSpark, Riot 15 and 11% over the 2 days. Merit 23 and 11%, but the big shining star CleanSpark 13 and 33% on Friday. So, are they overpriced? I don't think so. I think, number one, they were undervalued going into the week. Prices have jumped dramatically. Part of it, I think, is from a short squeeze. You know, people maybe were seeing, the short guys shorting the stocks maybe panicked a bit and decided they better get the heck out. Smart idea, in my opinion. CleanSpark as well had an unexpected profitable quarter at the end of the year, so that was a big plus, I think. Bitcoin price pump obviously has a lot to do with the pricing of the miners. And the fact that ETF acceptance has taken off dramatically is, people are looking not only at the ETFs, but hey, how else can I play Bitcoin in the markets? So that, I think that was the reasons. Now, a bit of news that I came across this week. MicroStrategy bought more Bitcoin. They're up to 190,000 Bitcoin now in the company treasury. And that, again, that's why I say, to me, it's a play on Bitcoin, not so much on the software company that Michael Saylor runs, but more in the fact they hold the Bitcoin. The other thing I came across, Schwab is, one of the biggest platforms for, investors in the U.S., and apparently now they're looking at coming out with Bitcoin, whether it's custody or trading, time will tell, but they're huge. And if they're going to be advising their clients to, put in 1% or half of 1% or 2% into Bitcoin, look out. That's going to, again, cause a massive uptake, in my opinion. Other things that happened this week of interest. Fidelity issued a memo indicating for their U.S. customers a 1% allocation would be advised. In fact, they're doing it in their all-in-one conservative ETF. So not only are they putting it into their ETFs, they're advising their clients to do it in their general accounts. So to me, that's going to, obviously, it'll take a bit of time, but boy, the more the people become familiar with it, the more price action I think we'll see in Bitcoin, more research and everything else to go with it, which is good. In Canada, it's already between 1 and 3% recommended now with Fidelity in Canada. As I mentioned earlier, GBTC sales are slowing dramatically, so I think the fact GBTC was dumping Bitcoin onto the platforms to sell is pretty well run its course. So what's that mean? Well, now the supply that's left is going to be in demand without people necessarily selling from other areas. Obviously, the miners will have some to sell, but it's going to affect the price. When you've got a limited supply, the only commodity on the planet with a fixed supply. I heard a funny story. If you want more gold, dig deeper. And it's kind of true. So with Bitcoin, you can dig all you want. You can mine all you want. You ain't going to make any more coins other than what's, in the program. 21 million, that's it, guys. On the ETF fronts, Hong Kong and South Korea now have applications pending for ETF approvals for Bitcoin. Okay, so there you go. Adoption is growing worldwide. Thailand, here's interesting news affecting all of us here. Thailand is exempting Bitcoin crypto from VAT, value-added taxes. I think they're looking to become a crypto hub. Time will tell. Good luck on that. You need an infrastructure that works and supports it. And whether the platforms are good enough here to support that, we'll see. But, it's interesting that even Thailand's looking at doing that. Close off, what to do. Here we are sitting on the weekend, and next week's coming up. I just, when in doubt, zoom out. So I take a step back and I look at the stock markets are booming, absolutely booming. To me, that's good news in a way. The reason I say in a way, are they overvalued? Is there a correction coming? I personally think there is. When you see that, hey, inflation is still out there, layoffs are tremendous in the companies you hear. The economies, I think, are going to be slowing down, and the markets will react to that. Are the interest rate's going to be cut soon? I don't think so. Are some of the banks in trouble? They could be. There was a couple of banks with issues last week. Time will tell. But my point is, you're in the market. You've done really well. Like I say, they're at all-time highs. It might be time to take a bit off the table, guys. Lock in a bit of your profits. And then I still say Bitcoin is on sale. So maybe, you want to do that switch, now while it's, you're selling high on the market and buying in at what I consider a low price still on Bitcoin. Might be good to get your 1% in there, or 2%, whatever you've decided. It's never too late to buy Bitcoin. And obviously when I say this personally, guys, I'm a hodler, and I recommend anyone hold on for dear life. Don't ever sell your Bitcoin. Why would you? There's nothing better. It's the best. Obviously, continue your research. So that's another thing, what to do going forward this week. Even if you own Bitcoin, continue your research. If you bought the ETFs, research how to self-custody. Look at things like that. You never know, down the road, you might decide that's where I want to be. Again, don't trade your stack. You make a quick buck in a week, or, Bitcoin jumps 5,000, 10,000. I can see it happening in a day. Don't sell it. Why would you? If you've already bought, look at buy more. That's what I'm doing. The final thing is, let me go over that. If you've already bought, buy more. That's what I'm doing. And the final thing I'd like to comment on is, tell your family about Bitcoin. Tell your friends, tell your kids, your grandkids. Get them looking into what Bitcoin is and what it can do for them. They'll never regret it, neither will you. And it's a good thing to have some Bitcoin. We all should try and have some. Obviously, I think fiat money is going to be worthless if it isn't now. And to protect yourself in your investments going forward, Bitcoin's the way to go. I ran across an interesting article. It was relating to Australia and how the price of housing in Australia is tremendously expensive. And yet, in relation to Bitcoin, the price of housing in Australia has come down, considered to Bitcoin, over the last 12 years. Wow, interesting. I can see that happening with a lot of assets. So again, that's why you should look at it. Anyways, good luck. We're interested to see what happens next week. And going forward, guys, I told Coop, I think I'm going to be just cutting back to maybe once, twice a month on the Money Matters channel. Obviously, I'm focused more on Bitcoin. If something comes up that's of a big interest or earth-shattering, I'll probably hop on and give them a few views. But yeah, I'm going to look forward to that, and I'm sure you all will too. So without further ado, thanks for watching. Hit the like and subscribe button. That really helps the channel, helps out Coop and Darlene, and we'll see you on Wednesdays for the live stream. Stay tuned.